All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Yo, everybody. How's it going? Hello. Out there in the ether. We'll go ahead with the intro. Hey, guys, how's it going? My name is Justin.
Mark.
You're watching or listening to episode 491 of DangIT Prodcast. Welcome back, everybody. Phil, where are you? Phil's actually busy today. How dare he do Family Matter stuff? I can't believe him. Irresponsible of him as a friend. Nah, he told us. Although, yeah, I have a hard time keeping track of all the different things that everyone's got going on. But I know that this is the release of Tekken, so we already know where Nai's at.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely where he is right now.
Yeah. I wonder if he got his, I forget what the edition's called, but it's like the one with the whole Jin statue. I don't know if it's 19 inches, but it's a Jin-like statue. But I don't think he's got that yet, but he got like on Steam as well. And I saw his VOD yesterday. He cleared through the story. I'm glad he got to see all the crazy things that I saw. It's great. Have you seen anything from Tekken 8's story, or are you just kind of keeping that privy to, like,
I've
when
seen
you?
a bit.
Okay, gotcha.
I've seen a little bit. Like I guess like most of what I've seen is from the demo.
Oh yeah. I didn't tune in for the beginning of that. Like when I was playing the demo, I just kind of went straight into verses. I It's always a funny thing, but when I was playing the demo, I downloaded it on my Steam Deck just to see like how it gets optimized or how it looks. It optimizes pretty well, but as a result, it looks like Tekken 7. So
I mean, graphically, it looks way better than Tekken 7.
I mean, yeah. So when you have to optimize it, you have to lower everything. It ends up looking like Tekken 7.
Like I had to nerf it so it doesn't look as good as it could.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, like if you can maintain the 60 frames, I'm also kind of happy about that. It reminds me of when piece like people would I guess downscale their stuff for Dragon Ball Fighters just to make it like run super smooth, but it looks it looks so grainy. It's almost like unrecognizable as far as the background and everything like that, but
Right.
it runs super smooth, so I gotta give them that. Listen, if you could just see the energy and you can like see your combos go off, then all the more power to you, for sure. But yeah, that's definitely a big game that came out. So and it's a huge dub for fighting games. I was tuning into I was kind of in and out of the stream, Maximilian Dude's stream when he was going through the story. It was like the release night of Tekken 8. He like hit like 38 like viewers, or 38 viewers, 38,000 viewers. Nah, if I hit 30, that'd be peak, but 38,000, that's insane. But yeah, no, that and other people's like takes on the game is, yeah, it's definitely just kind of revitalization of fighting games and bringing it into like the main stage of everyone's like minds. You're probably gonna see a lot of that like within like the next week, but just letting y'all know, yeah, we see it. It's really cool, and maybe we'll get a chance to play it ourselves. But right now, I've just kind of been not doing that. I've instead gotten a pickup for what also got released was the new expansion for Pokemon trading card game, the Scarlet Violet set. This one's Paldean Fates, and it focuses a lot on shiny Pokemon, where it looks like it takes a lot of a fair majority of like already established arts from different like Pokemon cards and sets of Scarlet and Violet, but they also give like shiny alternatives. Nothing too crazy, but it just shows like their different like colors and the shiny animation that they throw in there. I got and they're releasing them in like different types of like packs and sorts, bundles. So right now they only have the Elite Trainer box, as well as like this tech sticker set where you get like 3 booster cards there and just like a sticker. So I'm probably going to tune in and see if I can pick up like those like tech stickers, because I think there's like 3 sets of those. So like 3 separate stickers, but you would also get like the booster packs on top of that, which is important because for some reason they decided to not opt for like individual hanger this time around, which is it's a great thing if you just want to get the booster pack. But in this case, you ultimately would have to continue buying like packs, elite trainer boxes to collect. It's the same thing as Scarlet Violet 151, which is like the nostalgia pack where you get to see all the original 151. But it just sucks when you don't get the chance to buy them individually, so you don't have to buy like duplicates. But I got like a whole like number of them like right here. I'll just show it off real quick. We got this shiny Baxcalibur right here. Let me see if we can get that to focus. We have this full art of like Nimona. This is like the Scarlet version of her. Violet version of the Paldean student. There's like 4 of them. But you can tell just based on the colors that they're wearing. So that's actually a really cool one. Got this shiny Pomot right here. As well as a shiny like Organical right here. And then this, they did for me. I'm happy about it. But I also got Clodsire as the last shiny. Which, honestly, Clodsire and Baxcalibur's shiny variants are kind of tough to see. I literally, just for a point of reference, I took my face cam and I just added more saturation and like flickered it on. I was like, there, that's my shiny form. I'm a little redder. That's the difference. So, my individual thoughts about certain like shiny designs aside, it is cool to have a cool way to acknowledge shiny forms and whatnot, even if they are kind of using older illustrations for some of the mons here. Which I was like, oh wait, I recognize that from like the base set there, or like this other set. That's okay. I just want the shiny ones. The if anyone's curious about it, the shinies are gonna pop up as if they're like reverse hollows. So you usually get 2 reverse hollows in the set, and there's a small chance that one of those reverse hollows is going to be a shiny in the booster pack. So just FYI, I'll probably give you guys like updates here and there about that. Yeah, I think that's most of the releases showing up. Everything else is a bit of news here and there. Oh, actually, nah. There's another game that came out. It's a gacha game, and I decided to like jump in on that one. I'm not too hardcore about it. I'm just playing it whenever I have some time.
Very rare when you jump in on a gacha game.
I know. I think it's a whole new it's a new arc for me, Mark. I think me just trying to give Fire Emblem another shot because there was some interesting characters added in through like Engage, and I was like, okay, you know what, that's the more recent Fire Emblem game. I recognize these characters, I do like these characters, so just jump into it, and that's kind of opened it up for my interest in the next one I'm going to talk about. What is the full name of it, because like some of these character names for the series is kind of lengthy. Let me see. I think it's called Atelier Resleriana. It's hard. It's hard to say. I think I'll just call it Resna, just for the character's namesake. But it's yeah. So it's a it's kind of a gacha based Atelier game. And if you guys have been following for a little bit, I didn't really get into the Atelier series until Phil was definitely pushing to say that like, hey, the series is actually really good. You should give it a try. And the funny story is always that I saw the cover art and I knew immediately like there was going to be some fan service here, so I'd rather not. But then, you know, once I gave it a shot, I was like, this is actually legitimately good. And not too much to my surprise, the mobile game is actually pretty good too. It's pretty much the same type of thing for most of their series. It's like a turn-based RPG. But as you can guess, as like a free-to-play gacha game, there's a couple of things to just keep in mind of. You have a stamina like meter for whenever you go on like quests and whatnot. They will kind of limit you as far as like your your max level up for each character. Your characters have like potentials they can like unlock, but you need like certain things they can get for free for now. But it might get like harder for you to earn certain bits here and there as you play like further in. But it does seem pretty free to play friendly right now, so It's pretty good. There's a lot of mechanics, and I'm actually kind of digging the actual combat in there, where it's turn based, but there's like certain things to keep in mind of, like each time you do actions here and there. So I'm digging it so far. So it's actually a pretty decent approach for you to kind of get into the series. It's not too complicated as far as like some of the usual formulas that they try to follow, which is like, as like alchemists, they have to like craft a lot of stuff, and each game will have its own like different way of like crafting things and things to keep in mind of that you can get kind of confused with everything. Here it's a little bit more straightforward and pretty simplistic, so I appreciate that for now. And yeah, I think it's a pretty decent like introduction to everything, so I would recommend that. It's available on just like your iOS devices, I think Android as well, but I think you can also get it like on Steam as well. So feel free to give it a shot, everybody. That's not an ad, by the way. That's just like a general take as someone who just recently got into the series recently. But yeah, okay, I think that's all the games that came out recently. But as far as games that we've been playing concurrently, Mark, what have you been up to?
Palworld.
More Palworld. How's that feeling?
Playing a lot of Palworld.
A lot of Palworld. How you feeling about it? Like, what's how many like hours in?
I don't know how many hours I've put in, but I do know in the in-game time, or how many days it's been in the game. I think I've been in the one world of mine for like 70 days.
Oh, like in-game hours and days? Huh,
Yeah,
all right.
so it's like day 70 or something like that, I think.
Interesting. I've been definitely relying on games to just kind of keep in mind of like the play hours that I have on it, because other means of keeping track of it can be kind of loose here and there. I think with the Nintendo Switch, if you're not careful about it, some games will just continue logging hours even if you just put the software and the console to sleep. So it'll just keep racking up hours. Like one of the games I'm playing concurrently is After Image. It's that Metroidvania platformer. And it's logged in 300 hours. It most certainly is not 300 hours. I was like, damn. No, it's about like the 60 hours. Still a lot, but like nowhere near in comparison to like how long it's been sleeping for, I guess. But yeah, I've just been keeping track of that. I was gonna ask, as far as Palworlds, what's kind of, I know there's like a mix of different things, whether it be Pokemon or like doing the whole arc crafting bit. But I would ask as a general, like, what's kind of like your favorite thing that you've been like really digging about Palworld?
I would say I enjoy that. Obviously, I enjoy the monster collecting aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
but the crafting part can be compelling as well to combine the two, and it's also I would say being able to actually fight in combat with your partner is also pretty cool.
Ah, dope.
Considering my partner can fight, and then I can use whatever weapon I have on me to help fight,
Mm-hmm.
whether that
And
be a sword, a spear, a club, a
okay,
gun.
a gun. What's like the more effective weapon, like for both your characters and your monsters to use in combat? Would it just be like physical, like blunt, sharp weapons, or is it just the guns?
It just depends on whatever you're using.
Okay.
Like, obviously, your stone weapons aren't going to be the most strong, but if you upgrade your attack stat a lot, you should probably deal a lot of damage with just about anything you use.
Oh, okay. Is there quite a bit of like an RPG-ness to your stat increases, your level ups alongside your
Yeah,
pals?
each time you level up, you get 1 point for your stats.
1 point each. Okay.
Yeah, and you get a max level of 50.
Max level 50. Oh, all right. Is that the same with the pals as well?
I believe so.
Okay,
But
that's interesting.
their levels, I don't believe their levels go up as they level up. Like, you have to upgrade their stats using pal souls.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, all right. That is a lot to consider. How many pals can you actually have on you, like, as you like travel around?
5.
5. I have seen like people just using their pals for other means. Is there something going
Slaves.
on? That was not what I was saying, but
I mean, it's not wrong though.
I mean that's that's like an approach that you can have in the game.
I have mine work, but I at least I at least make sure they have food and good working conditions.
What are bad working conditions then?
Some people, a friend of mine didn't pay any. He didn't pay any mind to his Dynasum
Oh no.
that was working. It felt neglected and it got depressed.
Oh no. Not
It
sad
actually
boy
said
hours.
it actually said it was depressed.
Oh
And
no.
then I come back after he tried fixing it, and then I hear and see from his lady that it has now apparently gotten an eating disorder.
Oh no.
I was like, what have you done?
Yo, I didn't know it was real like that.
You neglected it, and now it's got an eating disorder.
I was gonna say, like, you have it working in the desert and there's like no shading whatsoever.
It's on a beach. That's our base. Our base in that server is on a beach.
Huh. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like a lot you can do, and it's definitely a fun game. Like, I can definitely see, and they've put out a roadmap for more stuff going forward about more pals, multiplayer, as in PvP multiplayer.
Oh,
More pals, more islands, more stuff to craft.
that's interesting. Dude, this game is like taking the world by storm. And you know what? I
It's good.
didn't I didn't think Palworld would actually like make those numbers. I remember when they initially been doing promotions for Palworld. It was a fun. We knew it was like a Pokemon spin up with guns. And honestly, I thought there would be like a lot of like favoritism towards that. I didn't expect it to like go past like what's it now like it's past 7 million at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it had almost 2 million concurrent players the other day.
Oh my god, dude. I mean,
It's and people that's what and Nintendo is aware of it now.
oh yeah.
However,
Oh,
I think their investigation is going to come up with nothing,
inconclusive, yeah. Cuz
because I feel like Pal World. I get that everyone's going to sit here and be like, you can argue it's unoriginal, but the developer even said in an interview they weren't looking to be exactly original. They wanted to take inspiration from games that they enjoy and make something like that.
mhm.
And to me, I think that's perfectly legitimate.
I think that's fair. You can see like inspiration like from other games in other new games.
Yeah, and it's like, and Pokemon doesn't own the rights to. I love Pokemon, but it doesn't own the rights to monster catching games.
Mm. Oh, okay.
Like,
Like over 8 million copies so far. Like on Steam. That's insane.
when people say like that Pokemon that these like obviously yes, some of the designs are very similar to certain Pokemon, whereas some are like vaguely similar, some are extremely similar.
Mm.
Like there's one you've got to see, because I was like, okay, this is one of the ones that's pushing the lines a little bit.
Uh, dang. There's a couple of them I know of. Um,
Look up. I'm gonna give you a name to look up. Look this
okay.
up.
Let me see if I even recognize that from what I've been seeing. Oh, you're sending it through Discord. Okay, let me take a look. Do, do, do. Birdash. I don't know that name by heart, so let's find out.
Meet grass type Cinderace.
Oh, that one? Oh. Yeah, people it's that same tweet I see where it's like comparing the two. Circles on
like,
the ears. Okay. Yeah, I see it.
I can't lie. This kind of is grass type Cinderace.
There's another one that resembles one of the Swords of Justice in Gen 5.
Oh yeah, I do like the design they went for him though. He looks nice.
Mm.
Like I think that this is skirting like this one design, like Verdash, I feel is like one of the ones that like kind of like scraping through what's allowed and what's not.
Oh, you know what? There's another one that I got reminded of in a skit that was done recently. Yeah,
Like I know,
RDC actually did like a parody video about like, you know,
yeah,
yeah, they were looking at like, okay, tell me what this looks like, Eevee, and it's the
premise.
Gigantamax, it's the Gigantamax, yeah,
That's premise.
that's Cremis. Tell me that doesn't look like Eevee. Dude was just like kind of looking like
Look at this man. That's Lucario. No, that's Anubis.
that's a yeah the Nubus.
I do like Anubis's design. Obviously, it does appear to be inspired by Lucario, but it does stand out in its own way.
Yeah.
Same with the Jet Dragon. With the Jet Dragon, Jet Dragon is obviously inspired by Latios and Latias.
Mm.
But like I said, I don't think that this is blatant knockoff. I think this is just inspiration. Because if it was like a blatant knockoff, then I feel like it would simply just be a copy and paste.
Mm.
And people could argue, well, that obviously they're not going to do that. They're going to be as close as they can with it. And you could argue that. I'm not saying you can't.
Mm.
But I think that people should also keep in mind a lot of things that people like from other games. Sometimes, yeah, you look at something you like, you take the inspiration from it, and you just change it a little bit. Put your own spin on it.
Yeah, yeah, it's essentially just like see what you like and like to make your own spin on like that.
It's like, and if you play Pokemon and you play Palworld, you are going to realize as soon as you play Palworld, this is a completely different game.
But do you remember that crazy episode of Digimon when the guy just went in there and fought one the Digimon himself?
Oh, Digimon don't play around like that, bro.
You can't fight a Digimon.
Oh, bro, they throw hands.
If they gotta. It's like that one moment in Kingdom Hearts where Sora just said, "Forget the Keyblade. It's just straight hands now." That was Pirates World. That was crazy. Sora Sora activated his like inner like devil trigger and went crazy.
But yeah, like there's there's a couple of designs that are like that. And there's some designs that are like I would say are more original. Like I can't think of any Pokemon that looks like this.
I was gonna say my thoughts on like I guess what Pokemon's gonna do is again it's probably gonna be like kind of inconclusive. There's hasn't been anything that they could like really like. It's kind of hard depending on like how they can really like phrase it as like plagiarism. But I mean, I guess that would be a shame for players if they really did find something and they
I
would
feel
like
the only way you could try to call it plagiarism is I feel like there's not even really a case for plagiarism.
It kind of depends on like if you can really see like the assets there. Otherwise, like if it's just close but not enough, then Pokemon can't really do much after that.
And it's like if they also like I said they don't own the rights to monster catching games.
Mm.
Like that's not something that happens because there's tons of other monster catching games like Digimon, or there's like Disney's attempt, which was Spectrobes. There was
Spectrobes, yeah.
Then there was Temtem.
Temtem's a big one.
And that's where I'm like, yeah, people no one got upset with Temtem. Literally no one got upset with Temtem.
I think it was actually pretty unique in like what they were trying to do.
So that's why I say just because this looks more similar to Pokemon in design than Temtem did, people are upset.
Mm.
And that's why I say I think that really is what it is at this point. I think it's simply just because they decided to go for an art style that is similar to Pokemon in a way, and it is very much upset some people. And I get what they're saying, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel like Nintendo has a case here.
Mm-hmm. I also kind of want. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, you're fine, but it's like when you play the game, like I said, you understand. Oh, this is not Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a completely different vibe. Like this is like I am playing Arc. It's like I'm playing Arc mixed with like you can see it's like obviously Pokemon was probably an inspiration, but when I'm playing it, my first thought isn't I'm playing Pokemon. I'm playing Palworld.
Yeah. So it's crafted its own identity if that's what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, because it doesn't feel, it's not like I'm exactly playing Ark Survival, and it's not like I'm exactly playing Pokemon. And you put those three things together, now I'm thinking, oh, I'm playing Palworld.
Hmm. That reminds me, I should probably like set up a whole poll for YouTube since my series for Tears of the Kingdom and Super Mario Wonder, those playthroughs have ended. It's time to open up the gates to a set of new games for concurrent series. So I need to make a list, and I think Power World might be added to that list. I also want to see if I could like push Prince of Persia into that, so I can just get towards that as well as another code. But that was a quick
Please
thought
help me get
aside.
through my backlog.
Help me decide. It's also great engagement in that front. But yes, I also want to take this opportunity to also acknowledge what was happening also this past week about a certain big streamer. I'm not trying to make like big drama like on this channel, but I just wanted to at least acknowledge it.
Is it a certain Goblin Man?
I wouldn't say Goblin Man, but a
I mean, his
certain.
community calls him that.
I guess that's his thing. Just a little bit of gold on his name is what I'd like to say.
I mean,
Nah,
I can
Aspen
perfectly
Gold.
understand
Yeah.
I can understand being upset about his statement, but
Mhm.
the sad thing about his statement isn't that his statement that he said it, it's that he's not exactly wrong.
Not exactly wrong. I can actually agree with the fact that one, the enjoyment of like the player who had bought or even is downloading this game in the first place, that's important as well. I think he could have phrased it just differently.
Oh, he could have phrased it 1,000 times better, but his base point, I can't say he's exactly wrong, because at the end of the day, what does matter, he isn't wrong. Like, what matters, because here's the thing, do I agree that artists deserve credit? Obviously, I have friends who are artists. I completely understand.
Hmm.
I think that artists should be respected. I think that you guys should absolutely have everything. But the problem is, at the end of the day, what people are gonna play, if people play a game and they're like, "Me like game," that's to the companies. That's all that matters.
Hmm.
Like, it's not to say that artists don't matter. It's to say that it's not valued as much.
Yeah, in that respect, because the value is the engagement and the money that comes in. That is worth that person's time.
Yeah,
I guess what has been saying is that like the opinion of like the of an artist, regardless of whether or not they like the game or they are criticizing it for like potentially like copying a lot like assets here and there, it doesn't feel like original, etc. Does not. What he's saying is that it doesn't have any weight towards the values that I'm trying to remember the developer's name for Power World, but what they're looking for.
I think it's Pocket Pair.
Pocket, yeah, you're right, Pocket Bear, and that is
Like,
kind of tough because I kind of have, at least I'm trying to develop a foresight as to like the consequences of potentially using AI stuff. But again, we can't really prove that like Pocket Bear is using it in this game.
The AI accusations, I was like, you can't just make that accusation without any proof.
Right. And people are like posting images here and there as kind of like their evidence there. I can't say either or, but I can also see that this is a big concern for a lot of people, especially artists who would more than like happily do like a lot of like work as far as designing like monsters and whatnot, just design characters.
I believe the company has come out and said AI was not used. I could be wrong, but I believe they have said AI
Yeah,
was never
I kind of wanted to see where that was at because I think I pretty much the same thing. I thought I heard something about that as well. But I was also thinking about like if they did, like what the ramifications of that, like for the video game industry, because AI is like such a like what's the word? It's just like a
hot topic.
Yeah, it's a hot topic for like this year in general.
Very touchy subject.
Yeah, because like when AI is used to better like productivity, like as an individual creator, like it kind of depends. Like I think when you're like editing videos, for example, I think the use of some AI tools such as like background removal can be
fair,
like
an AI editor sounds fantastic.
it does alleviate a lot of the load on that front.
As long as you don't have any editors yourself. If you have editors yourself that you're already paying, I understand it'd be tempting to just get an AI editor, but I'd say if you're a solo act, then having an AI editor sounds like a very nice
Sounds like
thing.
a really useful resource at your disposal. And you know, like there's gray areas there as well. AI just in general just seems to have a lot of like gray areas, but ultimately if we can use that to just better like other people, that's great. But I guess like when it comes to like someone who, and maybe this is part of like people's perspective of, you know, if you can have someone be employed for their skills instead of using an AI to do it, yeah, I think that's what people
Where
would
do you draw the
favor.
line?
Yeah, I think people favor just like employment with their skills as an artist than, you know, using AI to like kind of further productivity for that game company. And I think that
Yeah,
might be the
and I mean,
headspace for a lot of people.
I've said before that when it comes to art, I think AI art can be used to give you an idea of what you want, but
Hmm.
I think if you're gonna get it, if you want to get your actual piece done, you should get it done by a person.
I.
I think that's the middle ground to that subject.
Hmm.
I don't think you should use it to just make a full piece.
Right. I could see it as like a reference point for sure.
And when it comes to when it comes to artificial intelligence, it's a very understandably so. There's applications that it could be used for that are scary. It's like we love it for memes. It's hilarious for me. Like
Yeah.
the Donald Trump and Joe Biden playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I find that shit hilarious.
I found a very funny clip of like it's probably like generated like Naruto characters where it's in the movie and Sai starts up the conversation like when you touch this water you don't get wet and Naruto's like wait what do you mean that you don't get wet by water or water isn't wet and they go on this discourse about like
I've seen that
yeah
clip. I've seen the clip on YouTube. It says water is wet. And I just see this 18-second clip. I was like, what the fuck is this?
it's so funny so in that case it is funny but yeah.
But of course, there's concerns, especially for some women, which is
Oh,
AI
the
pornography.
deep fake stuff.
Yeah, the AI pornography, which I mean, my issue with that I can agree with. I think that it is a big safety concern for women
Hmm.
because it is obviously if an AI could just make a brand new face and it wouldn't be anybody's face, then cool. I guess we wouldn't have a problem with it then. Because this is just its own unique identity. It's something an AI made and it wouldn't have any ramifications on any person.
Hmm.
But the problem is AI usually has to take from something to learn, meaning that AI probably had to learn from several different faces, and it is a possibility that it might just use one particular face in this style of drawing that it's going to make.
I you said it has to reference something, and I couldn't help but think about the story that was like talked about in the in a podcast. It's called Morning Somewhere. It follows Bernie Burns and now Ashley Burns, folks from Rooster Teeth. They were talking about a funny instance. I don't know what the source is, but essentially it was like an AI employer or AI employee, and over the course of it, I guess like what it would do its usual like job of doing things, but it also kind of developed like negative feelings towards the job and started complaining about it. And I
Which is
was
very
like,
human.
bro, the design is very human.
Seriously, that's expected.
That's so funny. So I was like,
I
yeah,
mean, hey,
maybe
to me that just means that, hey, yo, this AI is relatable.
it's so real for that.
And yeah, it's scary to some people, of course. But
Hmm.
like when it comes to that, like I understand because I think didn't something just happen with Taylor Swift where they made a bunch of AI fake
Mm.
nudes of her or something like that?
I don't know about that like bit of news, but I did hear maybe something about Taylor Swift just showing up.
Let me just do a quick
Okay.
Taylor Swift AI.
But I guess to kind of like close off of the topic of Palworld and you know the possible
Yes,
issues with that.
some people had made explicit AI generated images of her and they circulated on X.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Yikes. But yeah, the whole thing with
like
Palworld is that we really don't know if they've been using AI or not. And Pokemon's
So
looking into that,
far,
and we'll
there's
probably
not really any evidence to suggest that they are.
so we'll just follow along and just see like what's being said about it. I am
It's
kind of curious, but
currently nothing but hearsay.
yeah, but it looks like a lot of people have definitely engaged on Palworld. And you know what? Regardless if it's like AI or not, I like the fact that people are pointing towards the fact that like that this could actually really pressure a Pokemon company to do something.
To do
Not
better.
not to like legally like attack them, but to just do better on their front, because I really
They
believe
need
that
a rival.
I really feel that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet really like suffered because of limitations that could have otherwise been done to better the game. Because honestly, like when you look at it, Pokemon Legends Arceus is kind of visually the better game. Also mechanically the better game, but
Like, I think that because I've heard people say, people are upset, or even Pokemon might be a little upset because it seems like, they took Palworld took inspiration and did it in a way to where it's like, man, this is really good. Why hasn't Pokemon done something like this?
it's like really refreshing.
Yeah, it's like, and as soon as I say that, I see an article right now. It says Palworld puts the next Pokemon Legends game between a rock and a hard place.
Mm.
And
Eh,
I think that does have some truth to it, because now they're like, well, shit, now maybe we've really got to up our game. And it's like, maybe that's good, because that's going to give them an actual competitor in the genre.
It feels like right now Pokemon's been obviously they are spanning out to different like fronts of like media in consumption, whether it be like TCG stuff or their different like mobile games, and that's fair. But it really just does feel like they're just doing kind of minimal like effort towards the new Pokemon games, because yes, open world was like definitely a big improvement as a whole, but there just feels like there's a lot that they could have otherwise improved on, like the environments, the optimization of just performance. I felt like a lot of that was kind of lacking in that department, but I understand that the core stuff is still there, but everything else just otherwise doesn't feel as polished as I would have wanted it to. But I think also this is a pretty good time for Pokemon to have like a little bit of pressure on them, because they have a whole thing going on next month, because that's the anniversary of Pokemon. So they're gonna have a Pokemon Presents, and from there we're gonna see what type of announcements they're gonna have, whether it be a new spin-off game or like an update to Scarlet and Violet. They'll probably have an update to Scarlet and Violet. They're pretty much due for that now.
But more
And
than likely, they just say like whether it's done or not.
yeah, but also expect to see a bunch of updates with Cafe Remix. You already know.
Oh, absolutely.
Any new updates towards Pokemon Unite, possibly anything from TCG, maybe not, but possibly the announcement of another spin-off. Part of me wants to think like maybe they'll go towards Mystery Dungeon this time, but we'll see. Maybe they'll come up with Pokémon 2.
Dude, honestly,
That'd be kind of sick. Wait a minute.
It's probably about time for Pokken 2, let's be real.
And they got the Metal Gear music.
True.
We heard that like during like Tekken 8. It's crazy.
Tekken 8.
Pokken 2.
Pokken
New
2.
challenger.
New challenger.
Professor Oak.
Professor. Oh!
It's Professor Oak versus Pikachu. It's so crazy. But hey, listen, if Ash can wrestle with Lucario in the movie, then you can have Professor Oak wrestling with Pikachu.
Such a great movie.
But yeah, actually, you know what? Pokken 2 wouldn't be like a bad direction. I think given like Tekken 8, like just hot, like it's here. I think that's great. I think that'd be a great idea.
The for it have been phenomenal.
I don't know. We'll see. I think there's still stuff going on. It's just that Pokemon doesn't like actively highlight Pokken nowadays as far as the competitive scene. So
I think Pokemon still has a community.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If not, everyone could like just get it on the Switch. But yeah, that's an interesting thought for that. That, and I'm kind of hoping for like another Legends game, just to just kind of go forward with that formula. I think that's a great direction. Either that, or maybe like remakes for 5th gen. I think people are hypothesizing that, and I'm down for it. Give me an update to not New York City.
To not New York City.
We have a little bit of news like over here. In addition to like the stuff like what content creators were talking about, like Palworld, I did want to kind of talk about it real quick. I want to acknowledge it. A lot of layoffs going on for the month of January, and this is also impacting Xbox side of things. With
I had seen that they'd laid off a bunch of employees.
Yeah, Activision, Blizzard, as well as Xbox in general. From what I understand, like 18% of the gaming division there is kind of being impacted. And that just kind of sucks. I get it, though, because they're talking about how there's just a lot of overlaps in the department. So I guess they couldn't really find, I guess they couldn't really find the ways to like both like financially like reimburse like folks in like a whole different new department that they would have to devise up otherwise. So it looks like they just had to do what they had to do. But unfortunately, a lot of people suffer from that. They were talking about severages and whatnot just to like support those who've been impacted. But it just kind of sucks to really get out of that, like what people might think as like maybe a safety net for them, and just now are in open water with seemingly no idea where to go forward next. But it's been cool to see people online's reaction as far as like proactiveness, trying to like get their names out there and see if they can get a lot of notoriety with other companies that are looking to hire. So hoping for the best for them. It kind of sucks when you have like a merger like this, where not only people get laid off, but like previous projects get canceled too. Apparently I guess this RPG that they had going on from Blizzard side got canceled as a result. Holy, I don't even know what that is. But I know that Phil was talking about that and other spinoffs for I forget which one. But yeah, a couple spinoffs were also canceled too as a result. And they were saying, or at least he was saying, like apparently maybe the sales were not doing too well for those side off stories. But yeah. But on another side of things, what was interesting, what I heard, Apple being open to game streaming services now. I'm not sure what pushed that, but if you guys know, the way that you would play, say, Xbox Game Pass, like through cloud, would be through like a web browser instead of like its own like native app. And I think PlayStation kind of gets away with it because it's not like playing through the cloud. Well, yeah, I guess it is playing through the cloud, but you're playing your console remotely. You could still do that with Xbox, but as far as like using their cloud service, you otherwise couldn't do it. We don't know any other developments going forward for that, but it looks like Apple's becoming a little bit more open about that. So that's a dub for sure. And then I have a little bit of news over here about Nintendo. It's another Bloomberg report about an 8-inch LCD Nintendo new console. That's not really new. I've heard like stuff about like there just being a new model, not a Switch model, but just a new like console with an not 8-inch, but an LCD screen. I think it's better off if they just started off with an OLED, but we'll see. There's not much else going on with that. Honestly, like just take it with a huge grain of salt. Wait until we get more additional news, whether it be like a Nintendo Direct or actually, no, maybe just a Nintendo Direct at this point. Essentially, we just wait until we hear news about it.
Official source.
Yeah. And right now, Nintendo's not really doing anything. They're still really focusing on their first parties, whether it be a new game or, a remake. They're definitely being big on the remakes now.
Remakes
which
are like their favorite thing to do right now.
yeah, it's nearing the end of their life cycle for the Nintendo Switch, so we'll see. But that's pretty much it. Mark, I want to talk anime because we have been without it for these podcasts for a couple of them, and it's mainly because I like to let like Phil talk about like his general thoughts. Usually because I usually don't have them like all the time, but I wanted to talk a little bit about solo leveling actually.
Wild, isn't it?
It's I actually really been enjoying it. I understand that like, well, I think the first 2 episodes are extremely compelling.
The first 2 episodes are brutal.
They're also extremely brutal, and you really wonder like, how the hell does this boy get out of it? But by the beginning of next episode, it's kind of shifted quite a lot. I don't not dislike it. In the sense that like I like that he gets another chance, and everything now he perceives as more video gamey, but he's also not like isekai either. So now he has to kind of view things, although it's still life and death, it's also like part of a game, and he has to do his dailies.
Yep.
That's the funny bit about that. But
Gotta get those dailies in.
I'm so curious. Like they've definitely left a strong impression on me, whether it be like the intro music, or just kind of like where does this like the lowest tier of lowest tiers, like how does he continue growing? And they're taking the nice video game approach of like allocating bonus points towards leveling up different stats, and he's taking the strength route, and I'm like, dude, that's great and all, but you need to work on that agility, if not vitality. So right now he just
goes straight and muscle his way through.
I get it 100%, but like you also need to like take care of yourself because you don't want to like build up like any bills here and there. It's gonna be rough. He really entered in that first dungeon. I like am critiquing like his approach. Obviously, like they've already made the works, and there's already source material for it, so it's not gonna change. But it would have been great if he just focused on building his stats a little bit more before jumping into this like instant dungeon. But I guess I'm thinking about it, he probably didn't have enough funds and resources to keep him in the hospital, or to just kind of like stave off of like work for a little bit longer. So I guess
You're saying he's got his mom's bills to worry about.
I know, and like this sucks for the dude because it's not just his mom's bills, but it's also financing like his sister's college education. So it's like, what?
The man's doing a lot right now.
Yeah, it would be nice if like he was open to letting her have like a part-time or something, I guess, but like I felt
he just doesn't want his family to have to do all that.
I get it, but he's also like he's hurting himself as a result, and I guess he's about to find out in the upcoming episode. Because it's impressive now that he can take down like 3 goblins like by himself, but now he's got like the big wolf to deal with, and it already bit through like his knife dagger thing. It's rough for him.
Go hands, straight hands.
Just gas, bro.
They about to just punch these wolves. They're about to go. Oh.
I mean, yeah, he just has to like get a clean hit on the wolf, and we'll see. But yeah, I've been digging the series so far for that. It's interesting that he actually was able to like kind of bypass like the surveillance of I guess the administrators, for lack of better words, but they did check in on him like on 3rd episode, and they were like, there's nothing different about you. Like you may have had a second awakening, but nothing came out of that. Little did they know about like what happens afterward, but it does make me curious about those who've had like a second awakening. So just generally curious about.
Well, you don't seem any different.
So we'll just we'll just let you go for now. So he's now able to just kind of grow naturally.
He built different now.
He's gonna be built different. Mark, what do you know about like the secondary character that I see?
Secondary characters?
Well, from the cover and just the general look, there seems to be another character. I'm not sure if that's just like Jinwoo like as himself, but like better like over time, and that's how they're trying to like show that off. But whenever they show like Solo leveling, I see another character slightly different from our main character.
Let me take a quick look. Oh yeah, that's just him.
That's just him. He's just better now.
Oh yeah, as far as I'm aware, yeah, that's him.
Oh, also,
He is him.
he is him. I do see the new
I didn't know if you knew this or not, but he's Himalayan.
Himalayan, really? Himalayan? I get it now.
You don't get that?
I got it.
He's Himalayan.
I for a second I thought you were actually like being dead ass serious about Himalayan, but I was like,
Nah,
is he really? Oh.
Himalayan.
I'll have to use that next time. But I do see episode 4. It's out. I haven't seen it yet. I've been kind of busy this morning, but yeah, no. I'm just curious about like where it goes from there. There's a couple other ones like this current season. I need to catch up or at least check in on Metallic Rouge, but I've just been watching some continuational stuff, whether it be
I definitely
Shangri-La
need to
Frontier.
catch up because I've fallen behind on a couple of my things.
Mm-hmm. I've been just kind of following
Shangri-La Frontier. I got to catch one on Dead Unluck.
I've been just kind of chilling out with some fantasies, some like slice of lives here and there. Well, just one slice of life. But I've been kind of on and off with Moonlit Fantasy. That's been one that's been kind of a curious one for me to like check into. Classroom of the Elite.
Mashal Season 2.
Yeah, I need to actually just get started with Mashal at this point.
Right, and then there's the ever cultured the cultured anime of this season, which would be Chain Soldier, aka Matoseihe no Slave.
I'm curious about that one. It seems to be taking different approaches here and there than I would have otherwise.
It is from the same person who made a Kame ga Kill.
Okay, all right. I can kind of see some inspirations there.
And it actually is. It's an ecchi show, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty well done.
I guess so. The ecchi bits of it are a little too strong to like.
But don't get me wrong. Obviously, the reward aspect of it, because it's to what they want the most. So that's why when the woman uses it on those monsters, normally they just want food.
Yeah.
But with him,
it's like.
I mean, it's not unheard of for guys.
It's just to feed the testosterone like levels. I get it.
Well, the hormones. Think about it with guys, it's like we're gonna we think about it, but
and yeah, he's like 15 or something like that. I get it.
Yeah, so it's like I get it. It's like this. I honestly probably if I was his age in the same situation, probably same.
It's rough for him.
But it is good. It's good, and the manga is good as well.
Oh,
and
okay.
What else? I do know that I'm trying to get my Crunchyroll back now, so me and Judy can catch up on
oh, sick.
Spy Family.
Oh, Spy. Oh, it's always a good time.
I need to watch season 2.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting with Spy Family in the sense that it's pretty episodic in some scenarios, but then they usually have like a big situation go on for a couple episodes, but then it just kind of reverts back to neutral.
Basically.
Yeah.
Just like basically like the thing of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. But I've been digging like the episodes.
Undead Unluck's also really good.
I've been hearing like that's so unfortunate because if I recall, is Undead Unluck like towards like a Pacific distributor this time around? Is it Hulu?
It is Hulu, but it is Hulu, I think. But like, of course, it is available outside of the official means.
Gotcha. You know, if you look hard enough, you'll find out.
It's good. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it's tough because like I've seen Undead Unluck like just like whenever we jump onto like Viz or Shonen Jump, and you know they've just always been there as far as an ongoing series. But I didn't know they were like that. Like
and apparently, I mean, from what I've heard, it went from what was like an ecchi comedy to now, from what I have heard and what I've actually looked at in the manga, I was like, wow, this really has become something really good.
Like, is it kind of been shifting instead of not just like edgy and whatnot, but it's also like pretty high action packed stuff.
High action packed, deeper story, a lot more to it.
I see.
It's kind of like it was finding itself, and now it's found itself, and now some people consider it a masterpiece.
Ah, that's sick, actually. I gotta say, that's peak.
I gotta say, it's pretty big. New chapter tomorrow.
Mañana, yes. Have we already read up on that one?
Yep, I've already checked that one out.
Cool. I have not heard anything, so that's good. So we'll see.
He's good.
As in, I have not seen the spoilers, so that's great.
Whoop.
But yeah, oh, dude, I need to like, I made that conscious decision to watch like just the dub for free run, and I'm kind of suffering for it because like
That's another one I really need to watch because I've heard nothing but good things about it.
it's so good because the first episode, you know, every good anime gives you a gut punch check at the very beginning.
And then gives you that one good pull.
Yeah, I think it's great because it takes its sweet time to just kind of pace itself. And honestly, I think it's all the better for it in how they just tell the story about like an ever long living like girl, elf girl, and how things in the past has like really shaped her more than like how like a typical like show would just do quick flashbacks here and there. But you know, it's been interesting, and I think the characters have a lot of charm to them, not just Freerun herself. But now they're doing like I wouldn't say it's a tournament arc, but it is like a school arc type of thing. So that's currently where they're at the subs, but I have been like sticking to the dub because the dub's actually been pretty good so far. And I don't know, they're just taking their sweet time dubbing it, which I'm appreciative for, but you know, it takes a while. Meanwhile, I just get hit with feeds of like people watching like the sub and they're really digging it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that one. Let me see. There's other things going on for the season. I think this is one of the new ones, but I got myself watching let me see. Villainous Level 99. I'm not sure if you know about that one. It's also on Crunchyroll as well, but it just kind of follows the story. It's interesting how they start the first episode on that one. It almost looks like a standard, like, oh, you know, standard like a commoner girl, like attends a new school. It has like a verse harem type of like vibe to it, and you realize that like, oh, they're actually just setting it up for like the game within the show, and you're following one of the side characters instead. And how she was supposed to be like the hidden boss, like after fighting the main like demon lord boss. And now the girl who gets reincarnated into this role understands that perspective and now realizes that she's kind of in this game like storyline, and she's trying to like avoid being the hidden boss because she doesn't really want hands. She doesn't want that. But the gamer side of her is like, I have to level grind while I'm little. And so now she's at level 99 and everyone's like level 1 through 10. And it's just about her just trying to like navigate through life at the academy while trying to not be solely responsible. But, you know, push comes to shove. So I don't know. It has like an interesting charm to it. So I've been like really checking in on that one. That's kind of it. I'm kind of like slowly picking off of some of these shows, but Metallic Rouge is one of those that I wanted to like really check in on because that's I think that's Mappa. That's kind of one of their anniversary type of like animations where it looks like it's like an original story maybe, and it's doing the show don't tell type of approach. So you don't really have a lot of information that first episode, but it really does a good job kind of engaging you on like, what's this? What's this all about? And you just don't really have the answers, but you're just gonna have to follow like the story, the characters to kind of get the gist of everything later on.
Right.
There are a couple other ones that are like ongoing, but that's kind of what I've been like checking into. But yeah, no, I would definitely say that solo leveling just has that like, definitely scratches that itch for me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely got that. If you like shows about games, or if you like shows about kind of like that power fantasy, then you'll probably love Solo Leveling.
Mm. I'm just hoping that like they keep it consistent so far because I think the production has been really like on par. Like I don't want them to suffer like what they had to do for a second season of Jujutsu Kaisen per se, but I just hope that quality just like maintains itself because
Hopefully, like that's the most ideal thing that could happen, is that they just keep it on a good quality, nice schedule that's not gonna require way too much.
yeah, because I've definitely seen shows that like have like such a strong like delivery like on these first episodes, but then they kind of pander a little bit and are just kind of odd here and there. I think what was it Shield Hero season 3 definitely felt like that. Where granted there seems to be a lot going on like in the stories here and there in the chapters and like in the light novel, but just to meet like a 12 episode like runtime for the season, they end up having to cut a lot of corners and it feels kind of weird. But I get that. I've always had that fear about Shield Hero because it follows like such a strict premise of like what's the pull. It's about like a dude who's supposed to be like regarded like very highly, thrown into like circumstances where like people like are disgusted by him, and it's about him redeeming himself, and he's already gotten that. So it's about like what's the next move and how do you engage other people like on source material. And it's kind of rough throughout season 3, but I still like it regardless. So I'm just like I'm in it just to see where the characters go.
Mm-hmm. So you just want to see, like, where does this go? How does this end? I gotta see this.
Yeah, I gotta see like how do they wrap it up, because I do like what they've done with the other Cardinal heroes as far as what they do, but it is kind of weird now because those Cardinal heroes are now just like hanging with Naofumi, and they're all like kind of different now than how they were from
Yeah,
first season.
definitely hitting different.
Definitely different. I think Itsuki, or yeah, I think it's Itsuki, the swordsman, who's obviously the Kirito lookalike, has definitely redeemed himself. Is now like just like a cool character to just kind of like vibe with. But one of them is very problematic. The other one is just so devoid of emotions now. So it's kind of rough on them. But we'll see how things progress, because they're now tackling things like from like point to point. It's not just about the waves, but it's also the internal stuff going on in the kingdom. So like that world building. I was talking a little bit about Moonland Fantasy. That's an interesting one too, because it really was it's a reincarnation isekai story, where your main character just gets ripped off of like the things that he could have gone. And the more recent episode is it's season 2 now, where you see that there's other characters who got reincarnated as heroes, and they're all also getting like unfairly kind of ripped off too. One of them seems to be honest. The other one's kind of like weird circumstances. I can't connect with people, so he's kind of going through the motions of it. Interesting show. I would also give that like a try if you're into isekai ones as well. But the
Right, isekai fans are eating right now.
truly, but yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. Is there any other recommendations? I'm all totally open for it, but there's definitely going to be a backlog regardless.
Oh, absolutely. There's always gonna be a backlog.
There's always going to be a backlog of anime, video games,
Always gonna be something new to watch.
always something new.
Always something new to watch. Always something new to play.
True. We ain't living like the Stone Ages of Part 1 Espanol, Part 2 Espanol, and that elusive
Back
Part
in the
3
day.
Espanol. Yeah,
Yep, those old days.
it hits different now. I had to say, when it comes to just engaging on like new games or new shows, it's definitely nice, but it's also like it can be overwhelming at times. So pick your battles, find your strengths. Which reminds me, I was gonna say like, well, actually, I think I've already talked about it in the YouTube polls. We definitely need to decide on like new games to play for the channel. I'm definitely trying to like get as much feedback as I can on that kind of stuff and just work with that. You were saying earlier that you were playing through Palworld, and I guess mine would be a little bit of After Image, as well as streaming through Tales of Zestiria, which I kind of wish I could have like talked to Phil a little bit more about it, but he's been talking to me in chat like while I'm streaming. Tales of Zestiria is actually not as bad as I thought it would be so far. I think it's pretty slow at the beginning, but like it picks up when you get more attached to the characters. So. And I think the combat there, as far as how they balance like the action RPG of things and item management skills and whatnot, that's actually been really interesting and something I haven't really quite gone through the surface of. So that's been really interesting to like kind of observe. But man, dude, it's hard to really think about that when I've been seeing nothing but Tekken, and I'm like, this is actually
everywhere.
I kind of want it. Oh no.
Making me want it.
You may want to activate heat mode.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's rough. I'm gonna be thinking about that for a little bit. But I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, actually, that's cool. We've been like an hour talking about this. Mark, is there anything else you would like to talk about before we can consider calling it for a podcast?
Gotten most of the big stuff out of the way?
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking about that solo leveling intro right now. It's so good.
True.
You know what's also really good? The Shangri-La Frontier opening. The first opening.
That is the best. To me, that is like the best opening of the year.
Yeah, it's so good. I think second opening's all right. But it's pretty much it's them again. So it's like I like when they keep it consistent like that.
That first opening slaps way too hard to not just be best opening of the year.
It's too good. What was the?
I would give second best opening to the first opening for Undead Unluck.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that opening, but I might have like heard it through like Spotify Shuffle, so we'll see. But man, dude, there was another opening that took the world by storm. No, I think that's Rumbling. Rumbling took it.
Rumbling was amazing.
That was legitimately peak. Oh boy, but I was thinking if there was another one that was like that. But that may have just been Rumbling. I just missed like a top seasonal opening somewhere. But yeah, no. Anime fans eating good. That's all I can say. I don't make the rules.
We eating real good.
Oh, you know what? Damn, this is something I've been learning about like Tekken as a quick aside. As someone who's like relatively new to the series and really only got interested like since like the 7th one, and that's like after all the updates and everything like that, I've learned that Tekken 8 story is pretty peak as far as like Jin fans or just that anime feel of like, you know, friendship wins everything. I've learned that the music for Tekken, it just in general is pretty good. And finally, Kazuya's a sneakerhead. That's what I learned this past week.
You got them J's.
Dude, so I'm glad. I don't think Nai's listening. He's probably busy playing. But apparently, the character ending for Kazuya is an interview about like what he does, you know, his past and what he likes to do.
Character interview.
It's a character interview about him, and he's menacing as hell. Obviously, he doesn't even want to do this, but they talk about June for a little bit, and it's like, oh, that seems a little touchy, but he'll talk about it, and then they ask about his hobbies.
Oh boy!
They cut to him. He immediately like rises up. In the back of him, he's in his corporate office, but the back door like opens up when you didn't think so. He slowly smiles. And it cuts to shoes, a whole array of shoes that you would otherwise see at the shoe store.
Everyone's just like, shit.
He walks back and he's just like, everything will belong to me. I was like, yo.
They're like, no wonder he's with their fresh shoes on.
It's funny because like his current wear is just kind of almost a formal attire. But
with the loafers on.
Yeah, essentially. But you just see different sneakers, and I was like, yo, if you take into this out of context, I thought this would have been edited or something like that. No, it's real.
You think this is a meme?
You think it's for memes? No, he's big on it.
He's like, no, he is him.
I guess so.
He is the him of shoes.
He's Himalayan.
He's the Himalayan of shoes.
Oh my! I guess when you run something successful enough, then you'll find a way. Like if you don't support a family, right, you're gonna put those funds somewhere else. He was like, "Well, my wife's dead, and it's sure as hell I'm not supporting my son." So I guess I will spend it on shoes. And he was like, "Oh, no, I like that actually."
He never even calls him son usually.
Well, I guess that's the same with Jin. He doesn't call him dad or anything.
Yeah, they don't really. They just refer to each other by their names.
Yeah.
That's just how it is what it is.
You think a lot of otherwise how he spends his money, Kazuya, was to support like medical bills after fighting.
Yeah, right. That's the most he'll do.
But man, dude, yeah, that's gonna be like in my thoughts for a little bit. Well, actually, kind of like focusing on a little bit of Tekken again. I would say there's a lot of characters I was interested in like trying out, whether it be like Lars or Victor. Honestly, like if I was into like the DLC, like probably Eddie as well.
Right.
Yoshimitsu as well. I think the design looks really cool there.
Oh yeah, Yoshi. Dude, there's tons of Yoshimitsu mains, loyalists.
Mm-hmm. A lot of loyalists.
Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, no. Reina, of course.
She's very popular. She was just introduced.
I love what people are doing with the character like customizations. They've already made Leon. They made a little bit of Tifa.
Yeah,
that's like Kugisaki as well. I think Gojo, Toji.
Yeah. People are getting real creative with it.
Dude, I'm trying to think. I've seen Ultra Instinct Goku already through Lars.
Let's go.
Oh my god, dude! I'm trying to think like what would be like a character I'd love to like recreate, but that's a tough one. They've gotten every. Actually, honestly, like someone tried to recreate Gon, and we'll talk. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, all right, guys. I won't hold everybody longer for this one. Let's go ahead and end the podcast here. I'm just thinking about like I'm now thinking about Tekken, and I'm not even in like that with Tekken.
But we're gonna hear from you in about 10 minutes. So I got Tekken.
Oh man, it'd be a different story if we had Nia. Like he would openly just talk about Tekken all the time. But
he loves Tekken.
That it's through his veins now.
It's true. It's part of his DNA at this point.
Oh, I guess to update you guys on that front, since he's not here. Yeah, no, Nia is like willingly, openly just jumping into like tournaments happening in like honestly like now.
He is him.
And next month. He is him. He's probably gonna jump into whatchamacallit. He's probably gonna jump into Evo like that. So stay tuned for like more information about that. We'll definitely be jumping in on Evo as well. But he'll definitely be on the front lines on that. But
this year he is Himalayan.
Himalayan. I thought he was black. It's like, no, he can also be Himalayan.
Himalayan. I thought he was black.
Sorry, I thought that was the funny joke that I wanted to contra, but I was like,
it was funny.
All right, guys, we'll go ahead and end here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Prodcast. It's been episode 491. My name is Justin.
Mark.
And thanks for watching, everybody. #bye, everybody.